Hey everyone, welcome to a longtermgaming.net video. In this video, you'll be seeing some gameplay of me on Torment level 1, doing a rift. I just thought I'd show everybody what build I used to actually do that on level 1. So the first skill you're seeing here is Slash. This is how I obviously regenerate my wrath. Along with that, I've used the Crush rune to gain increased critical hit chance. With this is pretty good against the single mobs. The beat of this build here is Blessed Hammer along with the Thunderstruck rune. This is the one I pretty much run around with, and I'm able to mow down many of the mobs that are in the game. You'll see as I move along. We also have here for my defensive skill Consecration with the Shattered Ground rune. With this I'm also able to burn down mobs when they get too close to me, which seems to happen to me quite a bit. Condemn. This is sort of my favorite utility skill. I'm able to actually obviously create big explosions along with the Shattered Explosion rune. Laws of Justice. I use this for the increased resistance and be able to have a shield buff. So when enemies are getting too close to me, I have something to actually slow down the incoming damage. Akarat's Champion along with the Rally rune. This one I pretty much use when I'm fighting a lot of the elite mobs or I'm doing the single boss. I really like the fact that I can regenerate my wrath, and as you'll see in the gameplay part of the video, that I'm really spamming Blessed Hammer since that seems to be pretty much my favorite skill. Heavenly Strength, I'm using that because I have a two-handed weapon, so I need to be able to hold that weapon, of course. Righteousness, just so I can regenerate wrath faster, and also increasing my maximum wrath by 30. Again, all because I'm spamming the Blessed Hammer skill. Blunt, of course, also in conjunction with Blessed Hammer, allows me to increase the damage by 20%. And Wrathful, because because of my playstyle, I tend to stand there with a lot of group of mobs, so I need a nice way to heal myself. I'm always constantly, casting Blessed Hammer, so I'm constantly healing myself at the same time. Here is some of the gear that I'm using. You'll see the overriding theme is also having everything with strength in it. This one is my particular weapon, gives me a little bit extra movement speed, a little bit of life per hit. Another thing you're going to see in a lot of these items is a lot of resistances to elements. I really try to keep my resistances up there. I realize my gear is probably not the greatest thing out there, but it really seems to get the job done for me. Another thing I have in my gear is being able to regenerate health automatically and increasing damage to my primary and secondary skills. And particularly you can see here that my slash damage was increased by 9%. Nice legendary ring that I found a long time ago. Mostly I'm keeping it for the health regeneration, the critical hit chance, and the cooldown of my skills. Now, everybody's mileage may vary here. One of the things I like to do for Torment level 1 is have my damage above 340,000, my toughness at 4.8 million, and my healing at 26,000. I'm finding this to be pretty good. I don't burn down the mobs as quick as I probably like to, but I'm also not dying as easily either. Also, try to keep your resists up above 65 somewhat percent. I like to be a little bit higher here. As I see there, a couple of them are kind of low, but overall I'm not taking as much damage easily from magic mobs. So here's some of the places I'm putting in my Paragon points. I may change these later on, but as you can see I'm putting a lot of it in strength just to try to get a little bit extra damage out of my character. Putting points into attack speed, just because those two-handed weapons can be pretty slow sometimes. You can probably put them in here anyway. I don't really think there's a wrong choice to be made. Again, life regeneration. I'm a big fan of that personally. Again, all goes to my personal play style. Sometimes I take too much damage and I'm on the run, so it's nice to be able to regenerate that health pretty fast. This is a personal opinion of mine here, but the resource cost cooldown. I really want to be able to spam Blessed Hammer, so the more points I can get in here, the more times I can hit it. I do use a Templar as my follower. I've tried the others, but in this case I really enjoy his heal abilities and his life resource regeneration over time. His charge ability is pretty nice too, because I really enjoy having the stun that he puts on some of the characters. His toughness is not too bad either, at 4 million, and his damage at 189,000. Really not too bad. He can pretty much hold his own. He's not going to burn down through any of the mobs, but he does pretty good on by himself. And trying to keep his resist up there so he doesn't die pretty much instantaneously, because I really need his resource regeneration to keep myself alive. His life resource regeneration isn't so hot, but again, he doesn't seem to die all that often, so we're all pretty good. So after that, here we go. Got a little bit of gameplay video, and you can start seeing some of the skills and where I'm using them. As you can see, the first mob here, set of mobs that I'm hitting, I'm really spamming out the Blessed Hammer, along with dropping the Consecration to get a little bit of the heal and to burn down some of the mobs as they get closer to me. Probably the biggest weakness with this build so far that I've found is really his one-on-one damage is kind of low, or at least it feels low to me. The build that I've been running with, again, just works well for my playstyle, is more of an AoE kind of thing, where I have a large group of mobs and I can burn them all down really quickly. As you can see in here, here's another example of, a bunch of mobs coming at me at once. I'm able to drop down Condemn and be able to really take them down quickly. And just to say here also, this was the first time I actually had tried a Rift run with Crusader on Torment level 1. I had spent a lot of time on Master trying to get enough skill points and damage and everything else up there, or at least higher. And because I had tried earlier when I only had 250,000 for damage, and I really was not really killing things fast enough, and it just didn't feel very efficient to me. So I actually, again, stopped playing Torment level 1, went back down to Master, and worked really hard on trying to find some better gear. And so far I'm finding, at least on this run here, that I had enough damage and just enough toughness to be able to take on the mobs. Probably before I move on to Torment level 2, obviously I'll need much more damage to do, or be able to create, and also be able to have a lot more toughness. As you can see, sometimes I can take damage pretty quickly, but thankfully I'm able to regenerate it pretty fast too as well. So here we have the first time I'm facing a really tough mob. I guess one of the yellow or elite mobs and his little minions. I'm dropping down Condemn is one of the first things that I do, and also Akarat's Champion, because I really want the resource regeneration for Wrath to happen very quickly. And it also really helps when I've got the other guys down. I can attack that one-on-one mob a little bit faster than normal and try to, increase my one-on-one damage a little bit better. This case doesn't seem to be too bad. And the other nice thing too with that rally rune, it reduces the cooldown on some of the other skills too, so I can actually drop them down even faster.
Not yet.
I'm sure you see in other people's videos where they run through everything pretty quickly, sometimes skipping everything. I am definitely not one of those guys. If I see a monster, basically I want to kill it, and I'm not the one that's going to be running past it, mostly because I'm really trying to get my Paragon up there, and I just look at everything as a missed opportunity. In the case of riff runs, obviously, of course, you are trying to kill down all the mobs anyways and not skip everything, but I may have videos later on with doing some bounty runs and things like that, and I'm not skipping anything. I'm just trying to kill it all, and that's the whole purpose that I really love about this build, that I'm not really spending a whole lot of time trying to kill everything, that I can actually get to things very, very quickly.
Power before Sakarum.
So here's another set of tough mobs here. The first thing, drop down Consecration, Akarat's skill there, and I'm also popping up Condemn as fast as it's going to come up. Not too bad. Really burning down the mobs pretty fast here. They're burning me down pretty fast if I run into those lightning orbs, but my life seems to come back pretty quickly. Not too bad. Sometimes I got to run away, come back. It's really okay. Really more suits my playstyle. I'm not dying too easily. I'm sure as I play Torment level 1 a little bit more, I'll obviously get better, better items and things like that to really improve my skills.
patience. Make your peace quickly.
See here with my toughness being kind of low, not as much health as I would probably prefer. I think I've only got about around 300,000 or so of health. Wallers can be kind of difficult, obviously. I'm sure that is with everybody. When they block you in there, sometimes you can't get away fast enough because your health is going down. That's where, you know, the law skill definitely helps, because you can kind of, you know, absorb that damage for a bit while you try to burn them down, and usually it's just enough so you can get rid of some of the mobs. In this case here, it's kind of funny. I knew I was getting pretty close to the boss, so I was really trying to get down some of these mobs fast enough. As you can see, obviously the final boss is going to show up, and here you'll see that really the biggest weakness I'm having right now is this one-on-one damage. It's going to take a while for me to burn down this guy. I don't really die. I'm not really in any damage or any fear of dying, but you'll see that it takes me a little bit longer than expected. Again, goes back to I don't really have the full set of gear yet to survive Torment level 1, so obviously I'm definitely not ready for Torment level 2. One of the things I try to focus on is try not to push the character too hard. You know, you're trying to be efficient as possible. You don't want to come in here and take forever to do something because you really won't find the gear fast enough.
Make your peace quickly. I require more wrath.
The best thing that you can really do when you're fighting definitely the last boss or a major boss of any kind is to really keep popping accurate as soon as it pops up. It's really what's going to help you try to take everything down fast enough and get your wrath regeneration up there.
Not ready yet. Make your peace quickly.
In the case of this particular boss, this build really seemed to work out well because he really was spawning up a lot of adds over the course of the battle, so I didn't have to worry too much about them taking down my life, so it was almost kind of a bit of a break to regenerate some wrath and actually just kind of change up the gameplay a little bit. Not a bad little boss. It was definitely the first time I've ever run across this guy, or at least that I can recall, and he sort of felt like he had some extra health, but who knows.
Not yet.
So thank you for watching, everyone. I figure while this boss was almost dead, I just say again, thank you for watching. Again, this is just, one idea of how to play the Crusader. There are other ways of playing out there. There's really no wrong way. It's really what really turns out to be your personal play style. For me, this is definitely my way. I love, actually really been enjoying playing this build. I've tried a couple along the way, trying to use smite and other different little things. But so far, this is definitely cool. Probably the biggest thing I'm going to have to work on going forward, obviously, is gear before I try to move on to Torment level 2. And not only that, but try to get some other stuff. Basically, maybe try to figure out how to make my, I don't know, my one-on-one skill a little bit better. So I may start playing around with some other skills other than slash. So stay tuned and catch you all later.